welcome back to my YouTube channel. I believe this should be my 5th episode. And you know what? Like episode 5, like since when I started, episode 5 was like, I was telling myself, I'm like, you know what? If I can get to episode 5, then I'll know this is real. Because, like I had so many grand ideas that I just needed, to put a milestone where I was gonna be like, okay, this thing, I'm taking it seriously, like I'm enjoying doing it, and I'm consistent. So I told myself that one of the milestones was gonna be episode 5. The other milestone was gonna be 100 subscribers. But then when I got to 50 subscribers, then I was like thinking, I'm like, yo, 50 people, like I would struggle to fill a room with 50 people. Like that's a lot of people that are following me. Like I think it's 56 now. Like, oh my God, I appreciate every single one of my followers. Like it's been so validating seeing +1 subscriber, +6, plus, as I've been uploading content. I guess I'm also appreciating the moment, like, being an up and coming YouTuber, learning from people, like everyday people, not just like the all-stars, but just researching and taking the craft seriously. Like a lot of work goes into this, y'all. Like people have made their entire careers, like, out of this. So yeah, so it's been great. So if like I share episode 2, if you watch episode 2, I pretty much spent my 20s like just being a bookworm basically. And I had to sacrifice the creativity that I had. So I was studying something that was very analytical, and inside I do have a creative spirit that wasn't being satisfied, that was making it known that it's not satisfied, right? And that's right now reckoning with me and saying, yes, I carry fix the exam, so I need my work as well, Yeah, so that creative spirit. And I realized this creative spirit of mine actually started in varsity. Because obviously, like I said, bookworm, analytical, equations and everything. And then, but I think 3rd year, 4th year, when I started getting actively involved in student politics, I had to like also use writing. Like when I was like in the SRC, I had to, as the chair of transformation and social responsiveness, to invoke people and to like conscientize and to start conversations. I had to, as part of doing my job, I had to write, and I had to influence like politics on campus, and wherever it was popping transformation wise, I had to be there because I was the chair of transformation and social responsiveness. So then I had to write. I also had to go on a lot of panel discussions, meaning I had to think a lot and read a lot of interesting scholars in the humanities, like Mboniso Gasa, Publa Kola. Like I can speak of so many people, Zetuma Tebeni, people that like, I got to really engage with during that time. So I always knew that, okay, I can write. And then I also directed a documentary for the Trans Collective in honors, where like I had to design literally from scratch, like come up with it and be like, so this is the main aim of it, and you know what, these are the characters, this is how we're gonna film it, who's gonna edit it, and then work closely with the videographer. So then I knew, okay, sharp, okay, this is fine. But then after honors, I had to go back into the analytical stuff and the nerdy stuff and whatever and do that. And then now I'm coming back again. But also COVID played a role, guys, because I feel like I was also coming through, like, pre-COVID. And then when COVID came, that's when, we were all at home. So I also couldn't push this hustle. But then now that I was done, like, with studying and everything, I was like, okay, let me start again. And I'm like, vlogging. Vlogging has always been the one thing where I've been like, vlogging is interesting, I've always felt like the moments that I have are worth sharing, and my main drive is really about representation. There's a lot of people that follow me that could, well, I hope that there's people following me that are seeing themselves in me, that are recognizing the same journey. Because I know, like I said, I'm an underdog. So I know there's many like people who, could benefit from just seeing me, just living, breathing, enjoying life, and expressing myself. So the first one is representation. The second one, like I said, is I needed a hobby. A friend of mine was actually like, the area that we live in makes it hard for us to cultivate a hobby, but somehow I've managed to do it, and through you vlogging, I can actually may have a hobby that I can use to express myself. Um, and it also goes me beyond that, because I obviously have like this grand plan of like the social media presence that I want to have, and like, what I want to put out, what I want to, curate and everything. And there's going to be an important organization that I'm going to start, called Tsogang Bathong, which is also going to need, which I will chat about more, but it's also going to need its own stream in my life. So there's gonna be this social one, the having fun and everything, and probably personal conversations. But I'm hoping to also build like a political platform, in a way, which, by doing this through the easiest means, which is having a personal vlog, I'm getting to have experience and like seeing, okay, cool. So when I launch that thing, I'll have a following at least, and things like that. So it's also a catapult towards my true purpose, with Tsogang Bathong. That's my passion. Like, my taxes, not to SARS or the, like, the government, but taxes to society, taxes to spirituality. So I have to pay that tax. So, which is a very I wouldn't even call it a tax. I mean, Tsogang Bathong for me is gonna be a living, like, a representation of my efforts and my to obtain justice in an unjust world. Because I'll just be sitting there like, okay, this Tsogang Bathong, through Tsogang Bathong, like we've done ABC. Maybe one day I come up with an organization and gets bankrupt and I lose everything. Then I'll be like, at least Tsogang Bathong help 300 people or whatever, So so that's what drove me to start this channel. My major insecurities have been essentially wanting to filter it, because obviously, y'all, like, at the end of the day, I'm on somebody's payroll. Like, I'm not independent, and stuff like that. So like, I also have been navigating this thing of what is too much, what isn't too much. And then it became a conversation of, who am I? What am I ashamed of? Like, why is it that I want to have this distinction in two lives? Because there's a scholar actually who talked about this. I forgot their name. Double consciousness, yes. It's like having, living like in a world where like you have two people and you change faces like that. It leads to cognitive dissonance. And what that means is it actually leads, if you are unable to process it properly, or you do not have the resources to process it properly, like, it leads to like very, very negative outcomes. So so now I'm also reflecting on that and saying, maybe I just want to be myself. Like, I remember chatting to Kaya Setole, and I was like, Kaya, look, how do you get away with it? You're also on payrolls, and then like you're saying whatever you want, so like, how do you do it? And he was like, these people, they never knew a different me. Like, they've always known who I am. And I was like, yes. That makes sense. Like, that makes so much sense. So they've always known. So they can't even say, you searched up on us, and you said A, B, C, D. And, So The other thing I want to talk about is YLC. So YLC, y'all, YLC is a very interesting thing. Y'all, if you refer back, which episode was this? I think it was episode 3 where I had lunch with Mam Nonku. YLC is basically, I'll post details down there for you to find officially what it's about. But what I'm going to talk about now is my personal experience. So how I ended up at when I came across YLC, it was actually through my mentor. We were supposed to meet up, and then she was like, okay, so she comes to me, she's like, yo, Tato, I am so sorry. I actually have a speaking engagement. Okay, speaking engagement, because now I'm like, yeah, so what's up? How do we make it work? She's like, yeah, no, it's at our offices, and if you don't mind, can you accompany me? Like, sure, let's go. Now she's feeling sorry. Like, she's like, hey, we're supposed to have dinner. Now I'm taking you to. I'm like, girl, I am fine. Like, I am fine. Like, I probably need to be networking with those people, because my philosophy has always been, and I know this is like probably not a healthy mindset, but I've always been like, you know what? I don't know anyone. Like, I didn't grow up in the city. I don't have connections. And the one thing, guys, that I've realized in my career is that, if you're mediocre, and you could be even less than mediocre, and have connections, you'll still get much further than somebody who's excellent with no connections at all, with no ability to finesse, But the thing about finessing is, if you really, really want to make it long term, is you have to finesse then deliver. Finesse then deliver. So then I'm like, so I need connection. So I will always be willing to have a conversation, and I will try keep up and join organizations such as APSIP, which I will also probably share some content about in terms of them, and just go to these events where I get to socialize with like these people. So we get there. Hey, okay. The speaker, so it's a book club event. So I hear that, oh, this is a book club, and I just look around. I just see black women. Okay, black women. I look around and I'm like, oh, these black women are like corporate women. Okay, I chill. See, Nomkulele Goboro is on the panel. Nomkulele Goboro. Mam Nonku is on the panel. So I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, Mam Nonku is on the panel. She's talking about a new book. Listen to her. Now I'm hearing about her stories and everything. And I'm into this book, and I'm like, yo, this is such a good space. And then I look around and I'm like, so I hear, this is where I meet Karabo Mutaung, the one who I gave a shout out in episode 3. Karabo. So Karabo is the first girl that I meet and socialize with. And I'm hearing Karabo. And I'm like, hey, Karabo, you are serious. Like, you want this. Like, you want to get this. Like, you're going to do anything you can. And like I said, guys, it's finesse and backing the finesse. And she was hella backing the finesse. And I'm like, hey. She's like, yes. And it's a plug. Like, right now, she just, if you guys saw the news, like, she just got appointed on the SABC board. Like, the organization played, and it's related organizations, because she's also part of this other organization called International Women's Forum, which is by invitation only, and she got into this YLC Connect, which is which is the International Women's Forum came up with YLC Connect to target the younger women, because it's an organization, like, if you see, it's very mature women, like, it's serious there, like, once you get into those rooms, you need to be like up there and be willing to like deliver, or rather not even deliver, because at that point you've already proven yourself. So Young Leaders Connect, they're like, yeah, we're gonna reach the masses, the youngins, the masses, the young black women, So now I'm chatting there, and I'm like, I decide on the spot, I'm like, I'm joining. I want this. So now I go because, like I said, you know, I'm on a mission. So I go, I even tell them, it's like sometimes I'm a problem, yo. I'm like, I'm joining this thing. Like, you know, you're going to get my application. I'm joining. And it worked because when I went to an event last week, one of Vuyi actually came up to me and was like, yeah, Kanawena, you were telling us last year how you're gonna be here. And I'm like, yo, that time I can't, now I'm part of it and I'm trying to be humble. Because at that time I was like trying to like, you know, make sure that they recognize me. Because I wanted it badly. Like I was like, this is the biggest plug ever. And that's a nice thing. Like it's so accessible. Like put together a CV, submit, and be a hustler. Like, you know, if you're a person who's hustling, like if you're a hustler, you have access, because they're like, you know, if you're a young black woman and you're hustling, like here are the opportunities. Some of the opportunities we got this year was to scholarships to be part of executive development programs, you know, courses, scholarships to do courses on board leadership. Imagine, because they're like, nah, women need to be sitting on boards. And like, you can apply. You, of course, you need to motivate. Actually, in the talk that we had last week with Yolanda Cuba, imagine, we were at a, you know, kind of, what does the YLC call that one? YLC conversations. Yeah, so they had Yolanda Cuba. They had, I believe is Karabo. She's like now the CEO of DBSA. They had a very prominent career coach. And they were like just talking. Yolanda Cuba actually said, she's like, you know what? She's actually so cool, you guys. I must say, like, I was like, yo, like, she's everything I thought she was. Because she works at MT and she's like VP of the East African business or something. So she's like, Udumengani. So she's like, this one time, like, you know, she was asking a person for, and like, when Udumengani. And we were like, yo, Redumengani, guys. What are we doomering with? Like, Redumengani. Then like, he was like, yeah, okay, now I know. Luckily, I'm at a place now where I can stand my ground. So I was like, yo, but I'm thinking of the times where I was insecure and didn't know what I wanted and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, this is a deep questions. And the ladies afterwards, they were like, what? Yes. So after that panel, I'm just sitting there. Now I'm not even recording. I'm just absorbing, hearing Garabo Musako speak about the development goals of the country, you know, where we need to be at, telling us about opportunities, you know. So YLC Connect is like really a plug and it's accessible. The other opportunities that we got, last year, I remember they had a lunch with the governor and things like that. But what I learned through my YLC journey is the opportunities are overwhelming. So you tend to want to have a certain level of discernment, right? So, and that means that you shouldn't spread yourself thinly. So you need to know, like, what you need to be getting, exactly what it is. Even though there's tons of opportunities that sound interesting. And even with YLC, I'd even wait to apply until I was at a certain level in my career where that year where I'm part of the cohort, you know, that year I'm going to take advantage of all these opportunities. There are ways to join conversations and things like that without necessarily applying for the mentorship program. I forgot to mention there's different streams of programs. There's the entrepreneurship stream for like entrepreneurs, which is like a similar program but tailored for them. And the one that I applied for is mentorship. There's so many streams that maybe I'll talk to Karabo in one of Tsukham Batong's podcasts. I'll talk to Karabo more about this. But yes, I joined the mentorship program and I foresee myself joining the other ones. But the main thing is be ready, apply knowing that you need to be catapulted forward. Don't just apply for an opportunity for the sake of applying for it. It's one of those opportunities that's like that, unfortunately. So yeah, enjoy the excursion. Yeah? It's an old money suburb, ne?
No, it is, and it's still expensive hotel, you know.
Even now?
Yes. They're from 4 million going up.
Metro penthouse.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm lost, guys. So I'm looking for the... I just arrived. So like I'm at the Houghton, right? So YLC is having an event. This is a social networking one. Let me see. This is a social networking one, and we're at the Houghton Hotel at the Rockstar Penthouse. So I just arrived up to the penthouses. So I can't. There was supposed to be someone there, but so I was like, let me just come down here.
Okay.
So yeah, as I was saying, I don't know where the penthouse is. Oh, they're my ladies. Yeah, I'm seeing familiar people now. So we're gonna try again. Tabatoba join the YLC, guys.
And
So I have content from the other.
Wait, DBSA.
No, from the Kana, what was that thing? The book launch. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be my other content piece.
Okay. Well, I just wanna check.
We're entering the penthouse.
Oh, we have to be
The penthouse now.
Hi.
Hello.
Very good, thank you.
Good,
We were
good.
waiting for the same.
Yes, we're here.
Yes. Genevieve's.
Yes, Colin.
Yeah. Okay, you call it.
Renska.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Oh, the penthouse is everything. Like and we got shams on arrival. The penthouse is everything, y'all. Like we're literally at a penthouse. Guys, no ways. This is a whole penthouse, y'all. For the event, for the YLC event. Even this chandelier thing is so amazing. Yes, Unati, pull through. Apartment. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Started debriefing 2 seconds. I've only been here for like less than 15 minutes, but you see when I say YLC is the plug, guys. Bonang, how was I gonna be able to see how these apartments exist? Bonang gomara. If it wasn't for the conversations that is serious. You know, the conversations that is serious. No penthouse song, top level at the Houghton. Crazy. Hella cray. Footage it's gonna be a little bit ghetto because people don't feel comfortable. Gorgeous. Oh my god. Look, this is like a mini kitchenette area next to like a pool. Me too. May I please have the Sauvignon Blanc, please? Yes. Karabo, say hi to my subscribers. Kana, they are fans of yours.
I'm complaining that I missed the sushi.
How dare I ate so much of this.
Free flowing and safe spaces, I think is an ideal representation of what we're trying to achieve here. So a little bit about me.
On your shoulders, it means that you just need to work a little bit harder for the next phase. I mean, we are also responsible for...
So now we divided into 2 groups. We're gonna have many panel discussions and group discussions way up here now. But We're up here now, but then we're gonna exchange with the team downstairs. So let's go. What am I gonna say? I haven't laughed that much. Ladies, say hi to my viewers. Doctor, you're back again now.
Yes, I'm back. It's been like 2 months.
Did you enjoy today?
Yes, I did. It was very inspiring. I learned a lot. I'm taking back to my students.
Of course. Oh, Letty.
All the best to your followers. And well done to you.
Dr. Letty Wenzama is making me take many pictures. So I'm leaving now. What were you saying about me?
Maybe Tato can even teach me how. So I'm gonna get a separate.
So do you also want to be on a vlog? Okay, tell my vloggers so you're accountable.
Hi. I love Tato.
But then what about your vlogging things though?
I want to learn how to better edit and put things together and vlog like she does. And that's what I was thinking when I
But
was
you
walking
sound
down
like
the
you've
stairs.
been wanna do this forever. Like why aren't you
Yes,
doing
but
it?
you know when you're a mom and everything else in between, you don't really take time to. So I'm excited.
I'm gonna do
and I'm
this
gonna
with
hold
you.
you accountable to help me do it.